What's up, you guys? Welcome back into iHeartRadio's official wrestling podcast, the Battleground Podcast. Now, on today's episode, I got the call the other day saying, hey, do you want to talk to the Rascalz? And I was like, well, I'm currently in Mexico at the moment, but hell yes, I'd like to talk to the Rascalz. Let's get it going. And the Rascalz, the Impact World Tag Team Champions, are on the show. Guys, how you doing?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
We're doing good.
Yeah, when I was sitting there, because we've had Trey on numerous times before on the show, and most of the time we don't talk about wrestling on the show. We talk about scary movies and Halloween, which you kind of came into that conversation. But it's an honor to have the tag team on together with Trey and Zach. So Bound for Glory is coming up here very, very soon. It's October 21st in Chicago. You can still grab tickets at impactwrestling.com. But if you can't be there, of course, you can watch it live on Fight and pay-per-view and everywhere else. And you look at the card, and there's a lot of great matches on there. As of right now, we don't know who your opponent is yet. But how excited are you for Bound for Glory?
Me personally, this is another big one for me. Bound for Glory 2 years ago is where I won my first X Division championship. I did a Impact Insider with Tom Hannafin where we sat down and he asked me like what were some of the emotions that went through my mind that night and some of the things I felt. And one of the biggest ones was I commented on how one of the very first things I thought about was I wish Dez and Zach were there in the moment, and that like when I got to the back, realizing that they weren't, like it didn't really settle in. And then there was a moment where I called Zachary on the phone and we shared tears and like a lot of words that meant a lot to the both of us. And then the same thing followed with Dez right after. And it was all kind of like within this nutshell of like, it felt like as a group, we never got our moment, at the time. And really winning these tag team championships has been one of the, if not the biggest accomplishment I've made in Impact Wrestling. Getting to do it with my best friend. Things feel like they're finally coming around full circle, and to now be the defending champions going into our biggest event of the year is one of the craziest things. As cool as it was to walk in and win a championship, it's even cooler going in as the champs and doing it after everything that we've been through as a group. Our story is an ever evolving one, and this is going to be a beautiful little milestone for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like the same way, and especially because I've only been on the pre-show for Bound for Glories. So this is like the first major match on one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, and to do it with my best friend is like, and we're champs. Come on now.
Yeah.
Right.
Marquee match in a massive city like Chicago. I mean, it's got to be exciting.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, many fans and critics have noted the growing competition in Impact Wrestling's tag team division. I mean, how do you plan to prove that you're not just champions for now, but that you can define an era in tag team wrestling?
Well, I would like to start by answering that with, I believe that the reason why the tag division is growing so strong is because Zachary and I are the center of it. Before we stepped back into Impact Wrestling as a team, I think we had Ace and Bay and the Guns, and those were the two on paper that everyone would go to. But now that we're here and we're mixing things up, people got to step up. We don't take wrestling lightly. We don't take Impact Wrestling lightly, and we don't take having these championships lightly at all. So it creates a bit of like, all right, I'm not going to walk into any of these situations. Like if I want to go after these boys, I gotta get after it for real, because that's all Zach and I do.
Yeah, awesome. Good. Sweet, to the point. Yeah, it kind of it almost seemed like kind of like right when y'all kind of separated for a little bit, the Good Brothers came in, put some focus on, but then you're right, it did kind of get to where it was just kind of
the same
Chris
tag teams every week.
Yeah, Chris and Ace, and then the Guns, which of course they're both phenomenal. But yeah. So it's all very good to see you guys back and with the gold. Speaking of the separation, a couple years back, you guys did take some separate paths, and you were separated for a little bit. Was there any doubts to you guys that you would eventually reunite in Impact, or did that separation kind of seem kind of permanent at the time?
I don't know. For me, it was more of I knew no matter what in this life that happened, the Rascalz would be back together, whether that be at Impact or somewhere else. I just knew it's fate. It always happens. Like we were meant to be together. And so I had no doubt in my mind that we would all be together again. It just depended on where and whatever, but
Right.
Awesome.
And that was a great thing is, to see Trey doing his thing and Impact, and all of a sudden you come in and shock the world, and it's like, oh shit, the Rascalz are back in Impact, and that got all the buzz talking, and of course now you got the gold, and it's a great thing to see you guys back and having fun on Impact, and in a world of professional wrestling, I mean, there's rivalries that can become intensely personal. Is there a team or maybe competitor you faced that brought out the most intense emotions in you guys? And can you describe how you navigated through that situation?
Every single one of my brothers. Any single time that I've wrestled Trey or Des or Myron, any single time that. But if we're talking Impact, well, even before Impact and whatever, we've wrestled the Machine Guns 1.5 million times, whether that be singles matches or tag matches. We've done that 1 million times. Same goes with ABC. We've wrestled those guys 1 million times. So I definitely feel like those two teams are the ones that really, at least for myself, like I have to tap into that next level because they're going to tap into the next level. So
yeah, I would agree with that. I think more than Ace and Bay for me, it's when we wrestled the Motor City Machine Guns, because both of them had a really good hand in training me during the pandemic where no one had anywhere to train. I had my own school. We met in the middle and they started working with me a lot. So regardless of if we're seeing things the same way competitively or backstage or anything like that, no matter what, they're going to put pressure on the both of us. We're their kids too. You know what I mean? Like, we're not kids anymore, but they had a great hand in mentoring us and making sure that we were ready to get to these next levels and to tap into those next gears. And no one's expecting us to do that more than them when we wrestle them. So,
yeah, it's almost like you guys bring out the best in each other kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Yeah. So, Impact has had, we'll just call it ups and downs. They were kind of the belle of the ball, go up and down, all that kind of stuff. I think really since, Anthem took over, there's really been a resurgence. The quality of production, the quality of matches, the backstage stuff. I mean, it really has stepped up quite a bit. What role do you see yourselves playing in the continued resurgence of Impact, and how do you plan to leave a lasting legacy in this company?
I feel like, now this is not based on my own opinion or anything, but Twitter likes to do this thing where they name the pillars of Impact, and I take a lot of pride in the amount of mentions that I've been in with that. And now that Zach's back, I think that we can make a golden pillar for Impact. Like, we were a part of Impact 5 years ago when people could only have faith. You know what I mean? Like, there was just like, we got to put good energy into this and hope for the best. And then the next year was like, okay, we don't have to put as much faith in it because we're starting to see some results for it. But you know what I mean? So like, the more time has gone on, we're starting to get the fruits of our labor. And now I feel like we're really right there. Like, we're on the cusp of getting everything we've been working for. Everyone that's at Impact Wrestling right now takes so much pride in being a part of the rebuilding and the resurgence of Impact Wrestling and getting it back to what it once was before. Like, it means a lot to us to be a part of that group, and we want to see it through. And I think it's cool that Zach's back now, and he can, like, Impact's a better place now than when he left it. And I think that's cool to get back to. You know what I mean? It's just like, wow, man, like, we're doing things a little differently around here, and it's spicy.
Right.
I like it. We got new competition, we got new production, we got new this, we got, like, we are something different, and it's because of the hard work that everyone there does, from production to sound guys to cameramen to the wrestlers to the referees to the fans. Like, it takes a team.
Right. I mean, you guys just had. Oh, sorry to cut you off. I was going to say, you guys just had some tapings in Memphis, and the response, we had some friends there. The response was just glowing. So, I mean, like, it seems like you guys are firing on all cylinders now.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like, with me coming back, I just noticed how hungry everyone is. You know what I mean? No, like, back in the day, they weren't hungry, but, especially in the locker room, there kind of be a split of things. And, like, some people go this way and some people do this way. But I feel like now everyone just has that goal and that mindset of, we are going to literally make this the greatest wrestling product that is on television. And, I don't know. I feel like we kind of have a chip on our shoulders of that sense. And everyone is absolutely delivering just 1,000,000,000%.
Yeah.
For sure. And the thing that me and Eli have talked about when it comes to Impact Wrestling is, a lot of the stuff that happens at like these TV tapings, you never see it get leaked on the internet. Like, and that just goes to show how great Impact Wrestling fans are, because I mean, every day you see something on the internet getting leaked of something from some TV taping here, there, everywhere else. But when it comes to Impact, nobody's leaking anything because everybody wants to enjoy those surprises at Impact Wrestling. And it's one of those things that if you miss, a show on Impact 1 week, you're having to try to play catch up the following week if you miss it.
Yeah. I actually noticed that too. I really have a high respect for the fans that can sit there with their phones, have a gallery full of videos and pictures that they've taken, and not post any of it on Twitter. As a human being, I'm sure that's actually hard to do. It doesn't sound like the hardest thing in the world, but when you're excited and passionate about something and you just want to share that enjoyment that you just got filled with seeing your icons for 3 hours or whatever, however you see these people, working hard for your entertainment, it's hard not to want to share that with the world. But I feel like everyone understands that the more they do that, the less interested people will be in the product, and the fans want us to have a better product too, and that's what's important about it. If they don't care about the product you're putting on or want to see it grow, then they'd spoil everything. But they're as hungry for something more as everyone working there.
For sure. And that's the thing is like when and my 6-year-old who's running around somewhere on the resort, when I told him that I was talking to y'all today because he's a big fan of Spider Trey is what he says.
I remember the last time we had the talk on there, I couldn't get him on camera.
We've gone to the Impact shows and I've recorded videos and photos and stuff like that. But it's like you said, I wait because I'm a fan. Even though we do this wrestling podcast, at the end of the day, I'm still a fan. And like, I'm not sitting here trying to get scoops or anything like that. I wait till it airs and then I post it. And that's the thing is like I've noticed with a lot of people that I know that go to Impact shows that they'll take tons of videos and nothing ever gets posted until after it airs. And I think that just goes to show to a testament of Impact Wrestling fans.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of directing people towards the TV, like watch it on TV, watch it on TV. It's live, watch it on TV.
For sure. And, speaking of the internet real quick, recently, there's been rumblings on the internet about Impact Wrestling being a landing spot for one CM Punk. Hypothetically, if Punk was ever to come to Impact, what would that mean not only for the Impact brand, but also for the locker room?
I'm just going to speak off rip. CM Punk was one of my favorite wrestlers, absolutely, ever. He's like ever. I can't tell you how many shirts I had. I can't tell you how many times I dressed up as him. Dude, like, he's what really, I don't know, not so much brought me back to wrestling, because I still loved wrestling for a while and all that, but he was the first guy in a while that I clicked with. You know what I mean? Because at the time, I'm from a small town in Ohio. Everyone's either like country or preppy. I'm the punk kid that, like, had gauges, piercings, all that. And it's just like one of those that kind of connected. He was a voice for the voiceless. So for me, bro, please. Bro, please. And again, it'll just help us step everything up. You know what I mean? Like, you have that high profile of a guy. Like, it's not just some random dude. Like, he's that high profile. You've seen the results, what happens when he gets on TV. Like, it just means more eyes and more opportunities for Impact to raise up and for all of us to just kill it, so please, dude.
I've only ever had one interaction with CM Punk. He came to the last Chicago taping that we did at Impact. He just hung out in the locker room, was very respectful to everyone, made everyone feel like they could engage with him without any like weird undertone to it. And I told him it was an honor to meet him. He goes, "Please don't say that." And but it was in a laughing manner. And I remember feeling that day, like, I wonder how this show is going to go. Like, CM Punk is, for all intents and purposes, a wrestling legend. This man changed the landscape of 2 major companies while he was there, and is one of the most recognizable faces in wrestling. You could take his head off of his body and you would recognize CM Punk for everything else that he is for the rest of his life. He's famous from a mile away, which I feel like only very few people in this world ever get to. Like, that's such a thing. And that day in the locker room, everyone, was like one of those things. Everyone was a little bit hungrier. Like maybe we weren't trying to impress CM Punk, but I don't think anyone wanted to not impress him. And if he were there full time, that's just an energy that we're going to have to walk into work with every day. So let the bangers roll.
Right. And, you know, he briefly did do some stuff with TNA, I guess with the coffee and handshake, you know, so weirder things have happened. I mean, why not? You know, and I definitely believe, you know, you guys are a testament that he would have much more creative freedom under that umbrella than other places he's been. So, yeah. So, speaking of Impact and New Japan have had a really good working relationship over the years. They had the Multiverse. What was the full title? Multiverse 2?
Multiverse of Madness.
That's it. Yeah. You know, incredible pay-per-view.
The first one was Multiverse of Madness, and then it was Multiverse United for the next 2.
That's what it was. Right. So would you guys be open to defending your titles in New Japan? And are there any New Japan teams maybe you've got your eyes on? Maybe like, wow, really like to get in the ring with those guys.
1,000,000%. That would be huge to defend the tag team championships inside of New Japan. I've gotten to defend the X Division Championship at Multiverse United at WrestleCon last year. That was a really cool feather in the cap, retaining under that umbrella as well. New Japan has always been a goal for the both of us, and we're sitting ducks right now. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
For sure. Of course, ready to go. Bound for Glory live from Chicago. It's happening October 21st. You can still grab tickets at impactwrestling.com. But if you can't be there, always watch it with our friends on Fight and pay-per-view. Real quick before we let you guys go, I know you got a busy day being the champs and all that. Is there anything you want to say to people watching and listening to this right now?
Just stay tuned. The best is yet to come. You know what I mean? Like, we're only just getting started. We got way more stuff to do. We got way more levels to reach. So just stay tuned for the ride. And also, thank you for watching us. Thank you for supporting us. I feel like us as the Rascalz, we do have a pretty amazing fan base, like a really, really amazing fan base. They're so down. And just thank you guys.